topic, man. It is championship weekend, man. It is championship Sunday. Will be on this Sunday. No football tomorrow for the first time in 2 months. I almost forgot about like damn. Like we've had football every Saturday since weekend of Thanksgiving, and we have none of that. We have a whole slate of NBA games. So I will be watching that tomorrow. Triple header on ABC. That I think should be good. Even though I want them to stop putting Lakers and Warriors on TV. Like that shit is not entertaining anymore. Like it's just not that they gonna have the Knicks and the Heat, and then I see the Knicks and the Heat. I'm like, is Jimmy Butler playing? That's the first time I ask. Every time I see a national TV Heat game. And then Embiid versus Jokic should be good. So that's the NBA's got their day tomorrow, but championship Sunday. On Sunday, we are in the NFL's Final Four. We have the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens. We'll be hosting the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, everybody over there. And in the NFC, you've got the number 1 seeded San Francisco 49ers, barely dodging the Green Bay Packers last Saturday. They will be hosting the hot upstart Detroit Lions. That is Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, the right St. Brown, as me and Bang like to call him, because the Bears have the wrong St. Brown. They have the right brother over there. And, of course, Dan Campbell, or Man Campbell, as I like to call him. They've got everybody riding over there for them. A big year for Michigan football, man. So let's start with the first game. First of all, I don't know why the fuck this game is first. I'm guessing it's some deal that the AFC has with CBS, or maybe because the second game is a West Coast game. That's probably the more reason
why we
got the championship game last. But first game is the game that everybody wants to see. It is Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, for a shot to the Super Bowl, man. We're gonna give a full breakdown on this. First, I want to start with, as J.R. Bang always like to say, content is king. We're gonna talk about legacy, man. The legacy view here between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. I think for Lamar, I don't like, as I've evolved in not only my viewing sports as somebody who does media, but also somebody as a fan. I don't take seasons as just because you didn't win a championship, it was a failure, unless you're like the odds-on favorite. And yes, the Ravens are the odds-on favorite to an extent, but it's also Patrick fucking Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I also feel like if they lose that, it'll be viewed a little bit differently. So I'm not going to say that it will be a failed season if they lose on Sunday, but I do think it will be a missed opportunity. As I've said, as Courtney has said, as Dante, everybody said on the show, that if you can't beat Patrick Mahomes this year, when he is throwing to Quick Trip employees and he has Matt Nagy calling plays, you're never going to beat this nigga, because let's be very clear. The Kansas City Chiefs front office is going to spend every dollar getting them better wide receivers next year, especially with Travis Kelce not being what he once was. Rumors of him retiring just along the same time as his brother retired a couple weeks ago. We all know, that's going to be something they want to get into the next era of Kansas City Chief football with more wide receivers. So if you can't beat him now at home, where he is the most vulnerable he's been, you're never going to do it. And I think this is a year for Lamar Jackson where he's been shutting people up. Shit, he's been shutting me up. But as I've always said on the show, I want you to shut me up. Please shut me up. Contrary to what my co-hosts say on here, I do not hate Lamar Jackson. I do not hate that man whatsoever. I had I had criticisms that I feel were valid when the time I said them. But he is shutting everybody up. He is well on his way to winning the second MVP, whether they win Sunday or not. But this is the time. He can go out there and be the guy who knocked out Patrick Mahomes. There's only been 2 quarterbacks to eliminate Patrick Mahomes. One is the greatest quarterback of all time. He did it twice. And then there's also Joe Burrow, who is, I think that's his real rival, not fucking Josh Allen, as much as I like Josh Allen. Alice called me Scott Poley in the chat. Fuck you. Anyway, but I think that this is an opportunity for him. He can go out there and knock him out. And then now you have the opportunity to bring a championship back to Baltimore. And then everybody who ever said stuff about you, and people who went further than me, who said things like he needs to be a wide receiver, or, or the racist thing they always say about black quarterbacks is he can't break down the defense. He doesn't know how to process. He can shut all them people the fuck up by beating Patrick Mahomes on Sunday and moving on to the Super Bowl, man. Let's start with I'm gonna go with Courtney first. Courtney, what is your opinion on what legacy view this would be for Lamar, for a win and for a loss?
I mean, like we said, if you don't beat the Chiefs this year, it's never going to happen. I mean, at least not anytime soon. I'm really, really looking forward to this football game. But I'm mostly just excited for Lamar Jackson. He has the opportunity here, in my opinion, to propel himself into the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes, a guy with, a couple of MVPs, since clearly he's going to win the MVP this year. I mean, at least in my opinion, I think he's going to win the MVP. And now, if he has the chance to add a Super Bowl, he can get himself in that conversation. I think he's got way more to lose, and there's way more on the line for Lamar Jackson than it is for Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't win, then it's, he was playing with house money, right? He's only had Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce to throw the ball to. Nobody's sitting around being like, oh my God, Patrick Mahomes didn't make that pass to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Like, no one's going to remember that in 3 years, right? So yeah, I think Lamar Jackson has way more at stake here than Pat Mahomes does.
Pavy, tell us, what your opinion is on, what's on the line for Lamar and what you think, if anything's on the line at all for Patrick Mahomes on Sunday.
I mean, for Lamar, if you look at his football resume, he's pretty much done quite possibly everything that you could. He's won a Heisman, he's won MVP, he's been an All-Pro, he's been Pro Bowl. He's pretty much done everything that you can do as a quarterback besides win a Super Bowl. So it's a huge game for him, and like Courtney said, he could put himself in the same conversation. Like, I'm somebody who thinks that we have one elite quarterback in the NFL right now. I think we are in one of the worst eras of quarterback, and I've actually been alive for.
That's a hot take.
I think we have one elite quarterback. His name is Patrick Mahomes. Like, actually, literally elite. When as in you walk into a game and you think, oh, Pat playing, they gonna win. There's no other quarterback who I feel that way about. But if Lamar can, take his team, walk in there, beat Pat, and then also beating Pat, the job not done. You still got to win the Super Bowl because you could beat Pat and lose in the Super Bowl, and then we back at square one. So a lot is on the line for Lamar. So for me, I'm just excited to see the game. I think I hope yesterday I watched the compilation of the most classic championship games. I hope that we get a game that's like that tomorrow, and I'm just looking forward to it.
Dante, man, what's your take on the legacy for both of these quarterbacks?
For Pat, it's nothing at stake. Pat is still Pat. Like, if he loses this game, he lost, and people to blame the wide receivers anyway. But if he wins it, it's just another notch toward him being the greatest of all time when it's all said and done. Even though people always say he'll never get that lick back against Brady. It's one of those things where, like, what you're watching, what you're seeing, and like, as a quarterback from just a physical standpoint, we've never seen nobody like Pat. So as far as his legacy, there's nothing on the line. Lamar, I think he can cement himself in the conversation as, a tier 1 elite, quarterback, one of those guys. And I'll be honest with you, for me, if Lamar beats Pat and Lamar can go to the Super Bowl, it's time to put Lamar over Joe Burrow, over Jared Allen, over all of those guys. Because, we shoot Joe Burrow a lot of bail, but the reality is he plays on really good offenses, and he's still been injury prone. He's been to the Super Bowl one time. That's cool. But for as much as we say he is the elite of the elite, there's no reason you can put, if Lamar does all he's done, already being here we thinking 2-time MVP, 2-time All-Pro. If he goes and gets a Super Bowl, he is a 1A top of the line quarterback, and there's no more you can say about it, because all of the other stuff we talk about is bullshit anyway. Everybody says he can't throw the ball. His completion percentage is a lot better than a lot of people. His percentage from the pocket is a lot better than a lot of people. He actually only leaves the pocket when he needs to leave the pocket. That's one thing, we talk about other quarterbacks that they panic and get out of there. Now, if you watch him play, he's cool, calm, and collected in the pocket at all times, and he goes when he has to go. And so I think, it's time to really, acknowledge him as a dual threat. And I think that's what's on the line for him, because if he loses, it'll just be more of the same BS, more of the same talk about what he can't do. So I think, in this year, fully healthy, he got a lot on the line to go get.
I'll say this. I think that, from a Pat perspective, like his legacy, there's nothing like his legacy that they're going to change. Like you said, they lose, they're going to blame the wide receivers any goddamn way. But he is fighting against ghosts. It kind of feels like something where, like LeBron, everything LeBron does, we're not comparing LeBron to other niggas we playing with. We compare him to 23. Like that's the only person we compare him to. So with Pat, we compare him to 12. Like that's it. He has an opportunity to, if he wins, he's going to tie Peyton Manning in playoff wins like already. You know what I'm saying? Like he could pass all these other guys, that he's in front of him. If he has only a couple touchdowns to be ahead of Peyton Manning, if he wins both, he will surpass Joe Montana for playoff wins. And then of course he's still 20 behind Tom Brady, which is asinine, which tells you how many fucking things that Brady has done. Like, to me, it just helps him. He loses nothing here. And like you're right with Lamar. If Lamar wins the whole thing, and Pavy said it, job's not finished, even though he do beat Pat, because there are two formidable teams in the NFC who can put them niggas through tables. So, like Detroit ain't gonna go out like no hoes, and the Niners ain't gonna go out like no hoes. So especially the Niners, gonna want their look back for what happened on Christmas Day as well. So it's not a job that's gonna be finished if they beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But if he does win, yeah, you got to put him over Joe Burrow. You got to put him over Josh Allen, because now he has the hardware to go with it. He'll be a 2-time MVP and a Super Bowl champion. So I definitely feel like that is a lot more on the line for Lamar than it is Pat. Now, let's talk about ways how the Ravens can actually win this football game, because now we're talking about strategy and what goes into that. I think for the Ravens, like their defense is nasty. Their defense has been nasty since they've been a fucking franchise. We can go all the way back to Ray Lewis. We go to Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, just all the guys that they've had in their tenure of being a franchise after coming back from Cleveland. But this one led by Roquan Smith, which I'm glad that everybody finally sees who Roquan is. Like the Bears tax is real. Like when I used to say, oh, he was top 2, top 3 linebacker in the league, I would get laughed out of the fucking building. He was an all-pro there. His numbers, he had numbers in the Bears. They're better than his numbers now. So I'm not going to go on a rant on that, but Roquan has always been that nigga. So I'm glad he's finally getting the love and the respect that he's actually getting deserves right now. But it's led by him, and I think the key is the defense for both sides, because Kansas City defense is really, really good. This is the best defense that they've had in the Patrick Mahomes era. And really, Lamar has to limit his mistakes. He hasn't made any mistakes in the playoffs this year. Hasn't really made a lot of mistakes this regular season in general. He needs to not be able to do that. He needs to if I'm the secondary of the Baltimore Ravens, I'm putting those weak ass wide receivers on their back. Like, make sure that they got to force the ball to Kelsey and just take away the options. If you can make Pat Mahomes look like he's looking majority of this season where he doesn't know who to fucking throw to, that's the number one way to win this game. But number one thing is they have to get in the end zone. Field goals are not going to beat this guy. We've seen it time and time again. That was the main reason that the Bills lost last week. Settling for field goals and not getting in the fucking end zone. Pat had multiple 20-yard passes last week. Josh Allen had 0. A lot of his production came on the ground. So he's got to be able to do that this week. And if he does that, I think they got a good chance to win the game. But they pretty much got to play mistake-free football to win this one. Courtney, what are some things that you think that the Ravens need to do to win this game?
The first thing that comes to mind, honestly, is I need Lamar Jackson to protect that football with his life. As someone who has had Lamar Jackson as a fantasy quarterback for the past three seasons now. I can't tell you how many games I lost because of Lamar Jackson turnovers, especially fumbles. So that's a big key for me. And then also just football, just protecting the football, and also really long drives. The last thing you want to do is give the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes too much time with the ball. So just really long, sustained drives that end in touchdowns, not field goals. That's the key for me.
Pat, what's your keys for a Baltimore win on Sunday?
I mean, you guys kind of said it. Don't turn the ball over. And then you have to also create turnovers. So if they can create turnovers, if they can make Pat really anyway, if they can get an interception, they can make a fumble the football, they can make the running backs fumble the football, they can make the receivers fumble the football. Just create some turnovers so that you can also win the field position battle. And again, you don't turn the ball over. Lamar don't throw no picks, don't fumble the ball. Just play very smart football, like you guys said. Score touchdowns. Field goals not gonna work. You probably gonna have to get you at least 31 points to win this football game. At least 31 points to win this game.
Yeah.
So again, take care of the ball and make sure that you turn him over. Obviously, like this season, it hasn't been impossible to pick Pat Mahomes off. We've seen it done by a lot of teams this season. So make sure that, make sure you can get turnovers, and please protect the football. Don't do stupid stuff, and you should be fine.
Dante, how can the Ravens punch their ticket to Las Vegas on Sunday?
If you're the Ravens defense, you got to shorten the field for your offense because, like we said, this Kansas City defense is really good. They don't give up a lot of explosive plays, so you do have a dynamic weapon in Pat. I said Pat Mahomes. You do have a dynamic weapon in Lamar Jackson, but at the end of the day, with this defense being who they are, you got to make that field shorter, and they have the ability to do that. And I think another reason that's important because you got to get physical with these receivers and make sure Last week we've been talking all season about how they work catching the ball. And, they look pretty solid outside of Nicole Hardman fumbling the ball in the goal line. They look pretty solid last week. So, you got to, start hitting motherfuckers. Like we saw them get real physical in that game. And if they can do that, I think that'll help Lamar having a short field, and their offense will be able to maneuver and get them some points. Because that's, with Pat, he damn near, it's like whoever has the ball last. That's who's going to win the games when he plays. So at this point, you got to get ahead. And the only way to do that is you really going to have to shorten that field up.
Yeah, and then let's look to the Chiefs side of it, man. This is going to be real simple for me. And in the words of a former Chicago Bears coach, and he's also the current offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, Matt Nagy, just be you. Like, that is really the only advice I have for the Kansas City Chiefs. Be you. If Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, they keep running the football with Pacheco and don't make mistakes and make the mistake and make a Lamar in that offense make mistakes, you're going to win this fucking football game. You're the team that's been here 6 straight years in a row. As much as, all the pressure is on them. It's on the Ravens. They're at home. Their fans are waiting for them. Lamar's going to be MVP. All the pressure is on them, and they know that. They're no disrespect to John Harbaugh, but they're the better coach team. They know how to, just stay around and be able to pick and, take their moments and be able to win the game. So Pat is Pat, and this defense takes Lamar out of character. I think they're going to win this game. Like you said, Pav, they got to score 31 points. The thing that they can do, I don't believe that the Chiefs can play as explosive as the Ravens can now because they just don't have the weapons to do that. But they can keep it hard-nosed football, run the football, play good defense, and then Pat is Pat. I don't think they have any answer for that one, man. So to me, that's how Kansas City wins the game. Courtney, what things you think Kansas City needs to do to be able to combat everything that you said that you need Baltimore to do?
Well, I was looking at the injury report. I know Isaiah Pacheco is like a little, I don't really know what the situation is there. So yeah, you kind of just gotta hope and pray that you can get Travis Kelce free up the middle. If you can't get that going, then you're in for a long night of MVS and Rashee Rice. And gosh, I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. That's the problem. Because everything is set up for the Ravens to go in there and win that game.
Set up last week too.
Man, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But for me, yeah, I think the key for the Chiefs, one is their defense. They got to blitz Lamar.
Yeah.
If Lamar doesn't get blitzed and has too long back there to figure things out, and Chiefs defense isn't that good against the scramble anyway. So yeah, I don't. Their defense really needs to get to Lamar. That's the key for me. Because my other keys, Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. We talked about it last week.
Pat, what's your keys for the champs?
As Courtney said, one, make Lamar very uncomfortable. Again, like I keep saying turnovers, but literally turnovers. Make sure that you can turn him over. And then for the Chiefs, you don't want to fall down early because you do want to have, like you said, it's not like you have a plethora of weapons. So you don't want your offense to become completely one-dimensional. You still want to be able to play a somewhat balanced offense. So don't fall down like 14-0, and you press in. Now you feel like you got to throw the ball every single play. You don't want to do that. Play a very balanced offense. And like you said, as long as Pat is Pat Mahomes and you can force the Ravens to have some turnovers, I think that they'll be fine. Just don't fall down early. Keep the game close. I'm assuming you're not going to go into Baltimore and just blow them out. But if you got a situation which is a 3-point game where it's tied with 5 minutes left, if I'm the Chiefs and I got Pat Mahomes, I like my chances. So, yeah.
Dante, take us home with this one. What do you think the Chiefs need to do to win this game?
Catch the fucking football, bro. Like, you got the best quarterback on earth. Catch the fucking ball. Like, it's really that simple. Like, I think, like you said, I don't really bet against Pat Mahomes. The games that he has lost, the AFC championships he has lost, teammates were offsides. He didn't get the chance in overtime, like a whole bunch of bullshit. So again, catch the ball, bro. Like he's gonna put it where it needs to be. We've seen it time and time again. I understand this Ravens defense is amazing and everything I just said, but nah, bro. Catch the football. That's what they need to do. If you do that, Pat Mahomes is gonna put you in a position to win every fucking time, and this is gonna be a matter of who gets the ball last. And if you lose like that, even though that's unfortunate, you could take that as opposed to going out there and dropping passes, dropping touchdowns, and then you like, damn, we could have had that game. So that's my key to the game for the Chiefs. Catch the ball.
Now it's prediction time, man. I said last week that I learned my lesson, and I will not be picking against Patrick Mahomes for the rest of my life. I don't give a damn what the roster looks like. I don't care what the roster of the other team look like. I'm giving him Tom Brady insurance. There was a lot of times Tom Brady lost, but I didn't feel bad about picking him because he's Tom fucking Brady. And a lot of times the Tom Brady lost, the nigga never got his ass whooped. Like I can't ever remember a playoff game where a Patriot just got shellacked. It was always a chance for them to do some Patriots devil work. So this is the perfect setup for the Ravens. They're at home. Lamar's been great. The defense has been great. But it's going to be some sad Baltimore people this Sunday. I'm sorry. Shout out to Rita. She was here on the pod a week ago. There's going to be some sad people in Baltimore. There's going to be some sad motherfuckers in Baltimore. Y'all going to be sad because they're going to keep showing Taylor Swift. Oh, and just wait till Taylor Swift holds up the Lamar Hunt trophy. Oh
no. You know why I know they're going to lose?
Why?
They doing the shit that they're making the mistake that every team makes. They got Michael Phelps bringing up the game ball. They got Ed Reed and Ray Lewis coming back. You got the whole goddamn team.
It's like when the Bears bring out the 85
Bears. That's tragic.
It's like when the Bears bring out the 85 Bears and niggas lose.
Doing too much.
Why is Michael Phelps bringing the game ball out? Is he
from Baltimore?
Okay,
he's from Baltimore.
Also,
no, but I understand why they would do it though. I'm sorry.
No, I get it from
it makes sense.
First time the Ravens hosted an AFC Championship game.
First time and since they actually been a franchise.
Yeah, see, I get it.
The other two times they were on the road.
That's bad juju.
And I saw on his Instagram Wood Harris, who plays Avon Barksdale, said he plans to be at the game. You've been at a wire in the building. Them niggas is 100% losing on Sunday. I'm going Chiefs 28 and Ravens 24. And I hate to say it, it's gonna be end of game interception from some random nigga that Lamar ain't got no business throwing a pick to. That's how I think this game is gonna go. Courtney, what's your score on Sunday?
It's really changed every day.
It's a tough one.
I want the Ravens to win so bad.
I think everybody does, but me.
I'm so sorry. I want the Ravens to. In my heart, I'm saying the Ravens, but my mind is saying that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs 30, Ravens 27. I do think the Chiefs are going to win by a field goal.
Pavy.
I'm going to regret that, but yeah.
Pav, who you got?
I'm going to be the opposite guy. I'm actually going to pick the Ravens. I got the Ravens 31-24. One reason I'm saying this is because I would just love to see a Super Bowl, which is Baltimore, Detroit. Can you imagine Vegas?
Oh, it's going to be nigga fest
full of Baltimore niggas and Michigan niggas.
The furs and buffs you're going to see.
Ooh, my God. Ooh. So one, I want to see that, but also I see the Ravens have a really good team. I think it's just Lamar's year, and I think the Chiefs have shown that they're vulnerable. I mean, I think even if last week, if the Bills could have converted more and didn't make the mistakes that they made, they could have won that.
Bills would made that goddamn field goal. It goes overtime.
Yeah. Like they could have possibly won that won that game. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Like I said, I just think that they are the better all around team this year. Like I said, 31-24.
Dante, who's your pick for Sunday?
I know I'm wrong because, like I said, everything is pointing toward them losing this fucking game. But I'm gonna go Ravens 24, Chiefs 17. Like I think, like you said, we've seen the chinks in the armor all year with that team as a whole, and they've leaned on Pat. And I think Pat is gonna put it there, but at the same time, bro, we've seen them drop passes all season. Buffalo pretty much gave them that game last week. So I think Lamar is at a point where he's ready to, like I said, submit his name at the top of the top. So I got to say Ravens.
That paper on this player, haters, old news, money on the other line. So I'm not going to hold you. Money on the other line. So I'm not